B&M, or Bolliger and Mabillard for long, is one of the 80 or so coaster manufacturers that decided ski lifts were too easy. Burger and Milkshake was formed when some Giovanola employees decided to break from company norms and make good coasters. Whether they accomplish that goal or not depends on how far behind the station you got stacked. The unique box spine under the track is a great way to identify a Brontosaur and MasterCard coaster. Unless, of course, it's this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, or this one, or this one, in which case you'd be completely wrong. In reality, there's two types of theme parks. Those with no coasters from Bob Iger and Malibu, and those with about 8 bajillion. This makes it hard for me to explain these coasters because opinions on Balla Grab and Manly cars are very polarized. Not from the fact that it's a subjective ride experience, but usually has an inverse relationship of how much your body is compressed by the restraints. I don't understand how the same company can invent a bike seat with negative cushion and then turn around and decide people are allowed to be happy. That's a Shark and St. Bernard offer a handful of looping coaster models that all boil down to the same general idea, but gradually make it harder for operators to hit their dispatch intervals. Their standout model is the Hypercoaster, an incredible feat of engineering that's more reliable than any other coaster at causing arguments on Reddit. Clamshell restraints are easily among the top 5 lap bars ever, even if their coasters aren't. I feel like there's nothing touching your legs at all, partially because they make any operator think I need minimum verification, when in reality I'm about 8 clicks back and hanging onto the seatbelt for my life.
Oh, look at that.
Bowling Girl and Mallard coasters have a strange place in my heart. On one hand, it's hard not to enjoy anything they've built in the last 15 years or so, and on the other hand, they design coasters like they're trying every iteration to break out of a time loop. Vertical loop, dive loop, zero G-roll, vertical loop, dive loop, zero G-roll, vertical loop, dive loop, zero G-roll, dive loop, vertical loop, zero G-roll.
Daring today, aren't we?
This repetition yields a distinct pattern in how people talk about blunder and off-my-yard coasters. The less of them you've ridden, the higher up they tend to be in your rankings. A lot of my GP friends consider 1 or 2 Blarg and Marg coasters they've ridden to be their favorites or close to the top, whereas I am deep in the boring and mid-mindset and only Fury cracks my top 20. Maybe one day I'll come out the other side and start to enjoy these models again. Regardless of how many H&Ms you've ridden, they are remarkably consistent. There's very few that I strongly dislike and aren't their stand-up coasters. If you want a real lottery on ride quality, you would be cheering for Gerstlauer anyway. Ballin' and Mind Your Head's history in the amusement industry goes to show that if you suck at first, just keep trying and eventually it'll work out. They nailed it on their second try? Never mind, if you can't get it, just give up.